Okay, the astral projection is very, very, very important. It's very, very, very critical, and is very key to your spiritual awakening. Why? Because it is everything. Okay. Now, at risk of trolls, YouTube trolls, hitting the dislike already on this video, as they like to do every time I record an astral projection video, I'm going to go ahead and just state that astral projection doesn't mean that you are ungrounded. It doesn't mean that you are airy-fairy, you're flighty, you're totally in the astral, in space all the time. What it means is that you're a shaman. You walk in both worlds at the same time. And when you do that awake, that's who you are. You know who you are as a spiritual being made of total energy, as a being of light. So here's what I want to talk about in this video. How astral projection is everything. How it reconnects you to source itself. How it literally is your key basis of how to understand yourself and utilize all the types of wonderful multidimensional skill sets and powers that you get back, and how you can use it to basically power your ascension through 3D, which is the most important part. In the beginning, all right, astral projection is literally how you wake up and how you stay awake. All right, every time I talk about this, I talk about how, it becomes apparent that, the world's set up around humans in the physical realm has not totally been truthful to the beings who are programmed to become financially dependent, emotionally dependent, and psychologically dependent on a system that's based on fraud, that's based on enslavement, and that's based on total dependency and codependency for beings in the society to function as more or less glorified slaves for a banking corporation, a banking educational institution, and a banking housing regulation institution. All right. So when you begin to actually connect the dots and actually see how astral projection is something that is worth getting into, it becomes more and more aware. It's how you actually get up and out of the physical matrix. All right, it's actually how you get up and out, how you actually wake up your energy body out of your suit, you stand up, and you begin to perceive out, along, and directly forward 360 degree, 1080 degree peripheral out into infinity. And you're able to actually communicate with your higher selves, walk into your higher self's reality, walk into any other person's reality you want to, change your reality, shift the realities of the people who are around you. As far as they go on an energetic level, you are able to ground your vibration and raise the vibration of others and the entire territories around you, no matter where you're at, okay? This is why it's so important, because it allows you to find out who you truly are, your actual true integrity as an energy being, your actual true integrity as a sovereign being of light, a being who is the tree of life, walking on the surface of the planet as the little, finger of God, like literally making everything better around them, okay? You'll walk around nature, birds will literally circle like in front of you, around you, like squirrels will like walk like past like around you, like literally like they're just rummaging, going about their business, but they're like low key like following you. It's cool because you are actually like that like awakened being that is so connected within themselves. The unified field of nature around you begins to harmonize and actually like bend towards you and actually co-harmonize, through you, with you, as you become one with your surroundings, okay? I talked about this in the last video. So it really reconnects you to the source of yourself, your source essence of self. You become the one within the all, and the all within the one, all right? Now, not to make any matrix quotes, but it's like literally the all is the one, meaning all molecules in particle physics are actually one waveform. And that one waveform is actually one giant toroidal field. And if you know a toroidal field, basically in that field, that's a unified wavelength. All is one is all. All right, all fluid. Okay, and with you being at the center of that fluid, you are spinning your own energy, and you become the one with the energy through you and around you. All right. So within that own energy space, all right, you are the light, and then you're also the space for the light. Okay. Now within that light, you have yourself as creator, as pure consciousness. All right. Now, consciousness can be looked at as pure space. Okay, just empty space. All right, space for any type of creation to take place. And light is that creation. Okay, you become both of those. All right, you become the void and you become source at the same time. You become the key to your own consciousness, and you also become the door to your own consciousness. All right, so when you get this deep into yourself, you're able to clear spaces. You're able to see with your third eye. You're able to make a large jump in the type of intuitive judgments you're able to do, and you're able to project yourself and see your life in the future. You know, even if you're projecting yourself to a higher reality altogether, all right, or further down for a more grounded perspective on your Earth timeline. Okay, so a lot of the stuff for astral projection is literally how you work on yourself personally, mentally, emotionally, physically. Okay. Because you have to also have a strong physical body to actually do astral projection, at least strong energetically, all right? You have to know your own soul frequency, at least, or, at least try, or at least have a good idea of what your personality, emotional field feels like, okay? So the reason why I feel like astral projection is so important is because you use it to actually push your way up and out of the density, push your way up and out of the energy that everybody else has kind of hooked themselves into. There's like chains, like literally hooked chains from going from people, like person to person to person to person, and nobody will like look at stuff for themselves. Like say you're sitting at, like, I don't know, somebody's giving a speech, and you're sitting there and you kind of look at the people like absorbing the information, and none of them are actually absorbing the information for themselves. They're kind of just like looking off, seeing what that person's like thinking, seeing what that person's feeling, or what they may be processing. Is like it's kind of like a shortcut most individuals kind of live their lives through, which I'm not judging anyone, but like astral projection is the ultimate shortcut, if not like the actual path. Which is why it's so important, because you begin to see through the eyes of Creator. You begin to see through the eyes of the inner child, once again, through clear, perceptual, like, I don't want to say rose-colored glasses, but actually glasses of pure unconditional love, like literally pure eyes of God. All right, because contrary to popular belief, the inner child is not a wounded archetype. The inner child is actually God, okay? The inner child, like, a lot of people talk about the inner child as like, because it's popular, a lot of people have to wake up and undo all the trauma and all the processing and all the programming that their parents have dumped onto them that they don't even know that they've been carrying. And you have to get out of the ditch that you have been thrown into without even knowing. And it starts with the inner child. Every inner child, fortunately, once you get out, you're no longer wounded. All right, you're no longer carrying your parents' trauma. You're back to the way you were created, which is in perfect form. Like you created from your creator. Like you weren't born wounded. You weren't born with your parents' bullshit and lies and fucked up trauma and like twisted mannerisms or whatever, like wherever you got, whatever you had to deprogram from your environment. You weren't born with that. You were born as a total being of pure love and light, of pure source energy, as pure sunlight, beaming from the center of your chest, from the center of your heart. And you get to reconnect with your inner child. All right. So your inner child is so important because at the center of yourself, that's the only way you get out of 3D, like at the end of your incarnation. The reason for that is because it's innocence. You have to get back to your own innocence. The only way you actually are able to get through the fourth dimensional veil of illusion is passing the test of, the high school sandbox, of the high school society sandbox of like understanding you're not supposed to judge, understanding you're not supposed to lust, understanding you're not supposed to feel, terrible amounts of unbalanced fear, understanding you're not supposed to feel hate, you're not supposed to feel remorse and murderous rage, like simple stuff, like getting back to those energies that you felt as a child will allow you to actually have spectacular multidimensional experiences. This is why, like, the child was created as, one of the actual multidimensional aspects of creator. Like, you have the mother, the father, and the child. Like, literally, those are the three major archetypes for the human. All right. So the child was created, and if you know kids, like, they're unstoppable. Like, there's no limit with kids. If you have a kid and you don't traumatize that kid's like little brain, that kid is going to be running at a very, very, very high computing speed. That kid's going to be outclocking their parents all day. That's why you see these little whiz kids, like my cousin's child, like my cousin's kid solves Rubik's Cube in like 2 seconds flat. He's like, here, mix this shit up, give it back to him. 2 seconds later, it's solved. All right, it's crazy. Like, kids, like, you can't stop them because they don't know limits of their environment if you don't teach them that. All right, so when you get back to that, it's a lot easier to see through the BS, deprogramming your negative trauma that has happened to you. Okay, so the way to do that is inner child meditation. You can do that anywhere. You can find it anywhere online. Just go ahead and find it. I have one, but I have it in my course, so if you guys want that, just check out my course. Here's a good technique for astral projection. Okay, when you astral project, all right, you're projecting yourself to anywhere. You could travel the stars. You could travel anywhere across the planet Earth. You could travel anywhere in the galaxy. Okay, and what's most important? There's a lot of birds over there. There's like 300 birds just flying. All right. Anyways, and what's most important is you focusing on yourself, traveling with yourself. Okay. So here's what I like to do. If you haven't seen my other videos on astral projection, go ahead, check them out. It's basically how to astral project in third person while you're awake in 3D. All right. So here's how you do it. Okay. Basically, the way I astral project is I do it third person and I do it first person. I'm going to show you how to do it third person here. So I have my sphere of reality. I have my sphere of light that I sit in. Basically, white sphere of pure light, like a white sun. Okay? And I could also see that sun directly in front of me, and I can move myself third person with my third eye. Basically, like I'm moving myself around space. Basically, and it's simple. Okay, so what you want to do is picture toroidal field. Picture yourself in the center of that toroidal field as a white sun. All right, and then spin the reality around that white sun counterclockwise. All right, now what this will do is unlock your third eye. All right, so here's what it looks like. There's you at the center. And then you spin that counterclockwise. You spin your reality counterclockwise. And when you're spinning your reality counterclockwise, what you're doing is traveling forward. You're traveling forward through space-time. And it's basically like hitting the gas and gunning it down the street. you're going in your own energy field, in your own spaceship, in your own multidimensional vehicle. Alright, that's what astral projection is. Like, I say that all the time. Like, I don't know what it's gonna take for people to get it. I don't know. It's like, if it's like too far past like people's understanding, just because they can't see energy. You know, you can't see the wind, yet you know it's there. You know, it's like people's imagination. Like, you know, it's like, well, I gotta do all this stuff, but it's imaginary. Like, you don't know. Like, you don't understand. Like, everything that has ever come into existence has started from imagination. Just because it takes time doesn't mean thoughts aren't real. Doesn't mean energy doesn't make up those thoughts. That has put every single physical manifestation that is on the planet Earth at this time into form on the surface. Alright, so that's what I have to say. Peace and love.